Hello everyone, it's Maxine back again with session 5 of a series of videos called Everyone's a Poet. These are just some very short, simple videos, hopefully getting you started on your writing journey, for writing a bit of poetry, just for fun, or because maybe you want to become a songwriter, or you'd like to learn to write, or you just have got something to say and you want a way to say it there. You don't have to worry about writing big long essays or big long passages. So I hope that you enjoy them. And we started off very simply with the first videos, which just gave you some simple tips about using the 5 physical senses of smell and sight, hearing, touch and taste to help you tune into some words and ways to describe what you want to write about. And then I did 2 videos about feelings, about using your emotions as a good trigger for an idea. And also for me personally, right from when I was very young, I found poetry and writing a really good way to help me deal with different stresses in my life. And because these videos are aimed at all ages, and I've kept them that simple so that children can also access them, I thought today, because I haven't been here for a while due to some life happening, that I'd just read some poems that I found online by children, because it was just a really nice thing to find, and I thought I'd share some poems with you, and it may give you a few ideas for yourself. I will put the link to the website that I found these poems on below this video. So we'll start with just a poem by somebody who's called Michaela Gorge, and she's 12 years old, and she wrote a poem about the changing seasons. Winter is cold, with gusts of tumbling snow, when rain falls down and nothing ever grows. For children it's the snow that they desire, and cups of cocoa in front of the fire. When winter's gone, the grass grows green again. Roses and tulips sprout with bright green stems. The bees are buzzing, the birds are singing, sheep are grazing and cowbells are ringing. And then the sun starts to shine too brightly. It's so hot that fans are put on nightly. And so then it's off to the beach or pools, where people swim about just to keep cool. All the leaves on the trees turn golden brown, and when on the ground make a crackly sound. In autumn a lot of money you make from clearing backyards of leaves with a rake. Each season has its own goods and its bads, but since they are all different, I am glad. So I really like that one. She's been very clever, and she's given a verse to each season. So she starts off with winter, and then through to spring and summer and autumn. And she's used some really good adjectives, that's describing words, for winter, cold, and she's talked about tumbling snow and rain falling down, and then she brings up this lovely image, doesn't she, of snow and then going inside and warming up with a nice hot cocoa in front of the fire. Very traditional but lovely winter image, so you sort of feel it yourself. And then we're coming to spring, and she talks about grass grows green again. So she uses something called alliteration there. Now alliteration is when you have a series of words but they all begin with the same sound. So she's gone for grass grows green. So it starts off with that gr, and it kind of gives a nice rhythm to the poem. And then you get the lovely images of the flowers, roses and tulips sprout with bright green stems, and then the bees and the birds are singing. So we get lots of nice sounds and vision, some things that we can imagine with our eyes as well. And then we come into summer, and there's quite an emotional sentence there about it's getting too bright now and it's so hot that we have to put the fans on every night. And then she has this opposite image where we cool down in the water and we're swimming. And then we come to autumn, where the leaves are turning golden brown. That's a lovely way to describe the colour, and a lovely crackly sound, which is when you walk on all those leaves. And then at the end she just ends with a 2-sentence little verse which summarises that she likes all the seasons because they're all different and they all give her something. So that was lovely. So well done, Michaela, for writing that poem. I thought that was really nice. And then we've got a very different poem, and it's from somebody called Tilly Bailey. I apologise if I've said your name wrong. This is a very personal poem about something that she's feeling, and she's written it as a poem, but it's also a prayer, and it's just very sincere and lovely. So let me just read. Lord, I pray each and every day for those who suffer from grief and pain, those who don't know you and do wrong things, those who lie, steal and kill. Lord, I pray each and every day. Lord, I pray each and every day for the homeless and starving, those whose parents abuse them and their skin looks like a carving. Lord, I pray each and every day, help all these people, cleanse their hearts and let them start over with a new start. So it's not a very long poem, but there's a lot in it. So these are obviously all things that Tilly has seen and that she would like things to change really, and she's praying to God for help with that. And yeah, so it's emotive. She's using emotions and feelings in this prayer. She's obviously feeling sad and a bit concerned about what's going on in the world, and she wants to help, and her way of helping is to pray. And I'm just picking out a couple of things that she's described. She does repeat Lord, I pray a few times in the poem, which I think just gives an emphasis about this being a sincere and heartfelt prayer. And she also repeats each and every day, and again that's just the emphasis on how important it is to her that she prays for this every day. And I really love this description of skin that she uses. So she says, and their skin looks like a carving. Now when you say like her, so when you compare one thing with another thing, it's called a simile. So the skin looks like a carving. She uses a simile, and I imagine what she's thinking of is those people that are hungry and starving in very hot countries, and they're out in the skin all day. Their skin does start to dry out and look really tough. So I know what she means. I think that's a really beautiful simile to use. Skin looks like a carving. Yeah, and so really heartfelt, sincere poem from Tilly there. So well done. Okay, and then I have another one. Now, in the first sessions that we did, we talked about using senses, and this one is, somebody has said, she's actually written, her name is Favour, and she says that her best friend's favourite colour is yellow, and so she's wrote a poem just about the colour yellow. Yellow is beautiful and kind. Yellow tastes sour down my throat. It feels like the warmth of the sky. Yellow sounds like kids laughing down the street. It feels like warmth upon my head. Yellow looks like a big circle in the sky. It makes me smile and play. Yellow is my favourite colour. So there you go, another very different poem. It's short. It's got a different shape and form than the other two. The first poem was four and a bit verses and had some rhyming in it, and the second one was in the form of prayer. And this one just is a very comes very spontaneous to me. So it's just exactly what she's thinking. She's thinking about yellow and it's how beautiful it is, and she thinks that yellow is kind, which is an interesting thing. So there's obviously some association about yellow being kind for her. And yellow tastes sour down my throat. So I wonder what she's thinking about then. I won't answer that, I'll let you answer that one. Yellow sounds like kids laughing down the street, and it feels warmth upon my head. So it's this feeling of summer, isn't it? And people playing out and kids laughing, and then the big circle in the sky. So yeah, yellow is a very cheerful colour, and I think she's really succeeded in getting that across in her poem with all the different describing words, beautiful and kind and warm and laughing and smiling and playing. So some really lovely describing words there, some lovely adjectives. So yeah, so well done, Favour. That's a really lovely short poem about yellow. Um, And then we've got a poem by someone called Khushbu Chopra, and I apologise, I'm pretty certain I've said your first name wrong. They're 11 years old, and they've done a poem which has repeated a lot of words for effect. So have a listen to this and see what you think. Rolling, rolling, the spider is rolling. Crawling, crawling, the baby is crawling. Crawling, crawling with lots of fun. The naughty boy is eating a bun. Walking, walking, the man is walking. Rocking, rocking, I am rocking. Walking, rocking, our mood is happy. The small baby is wearing a nappy. Chirping, chirping, the birds are chirping. Blooming, blooming, the flowers are blooming. Chirping, blooming, with lots of tricks. The girl is eating chips with crisps. So, as a really fun poem by Khushbu, I wish I knew how to say your name properly. Um, and it's like she's just observing all these little things in her world, like the spider rolling and the baby crawling, and the sense of fun that she sees in that. And yeah, so she's repeated those words, and what you do is you get the sense of the actual things happening. So rolling, rolling. And you really get to sort of see these verbs going, in action: rolling, rolling, crawling, crawling, walking, rocking, walking, chirping, blooming. And she repeats, and she's done very well and got some rhymes there in her poem as well, in just 3 little verses. So that's quite a fun poem as well. And then I thought just to show you one that I wrote when I was young. It's very, very short, and I don't actually remember what was going on that day, but obviously something that was making me feel a certain way, and it's just this simple. This is from one of my old diaries that I've had for a long time. So this is just says: roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. Feeling scared, deep, deep inside. Roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. Feeling scared, deep, deep inside. So yeah, so something obviously frightening was going on for me that day, and the roller coaster implies there's lots of ups and downs going on in my life at that time. So that's a very short but very emotional poem. And yes, like I said, I can't remember what it was about, but obviously it helped me to write it down and just feel that feeling in myself. But I thought what I'd do as well is just end on another poem by another child. So that was me as a child. I can't remember my age, unfortunately. This is the final one by a child that was written by someone called Ria Shivastava, which apologies again, I'm not very good at pronouncing names. This is a silly poem, and I think it's great. So let's have a go at this one. So, what if there were purple spots on a pig? What if there were no burrows to dig? What if colours weren't invented? What if buildings weren't cemented? What if the sun wasn't yellow? What if the underground wasn't below? What if our body colour was blue? What if water was as sticky as glue? So it would be a big mess that day. So I guess, let it be the same way. So that's a really effective little silly poem, isn't it? She's just done little 2-line verses, rhyming verses, and all with questions apart from those last 2 lines. So it's basically what if. That's the question she's asking, and then she's letting her imagination run away with herself, and she's thought, what if there were purple spots on peaks, and no burrows to dig, and colours weren't invented, and buildings weren't cemented, and the sun wasn't yellow, and the underground wasn't below. What if we were blue, and water was sticky as glue? It would be a big mess. So that's the conclusion of that. So she's saying that he's saying that maybe it should stay that way. So yeah, so just some really lovely poems by children. I just wanted to show you that you don't have to be as old as me to write poems, and they don't and they can take all different forms and shapes. So we've got rhyming poems there, we've got silly poems there, we've got fun poems, we've got poems about colour, and we've got poems about emotions and how we're feeling, and yeah, so lots of different poems by children from this website, which I'll put under the video, called familyfriendspoems.com. That's got poems by children, and it's got poems for children if you're interested. So I thought that was fun. So that really was just to give you some inspiration and to get you writing. And I haven't talked much about poem structure or anything like that, or sentences or grammar or full stops, because I just want you to play and have fun and just put punctuation like full stops and commas where you think. And sometimes just reading a poem out loud will make you think, oh, I need a pause there, I'll put a little comma in. I just want you to be creative, dig down and come up with your ideas and just start writing, whether it's a 2-sentence poem or a 16-line poem, whether it rhymes or it doesn't, whether it's short lines or long lines. But just remember, think about what it feels like, what it looks like, what it feels like if you touch it, what it smells like, whatever it is you're talking about, and use lots of nice describing words and action words like verbs, like that they did in that poem with rocking and walking, and just have a play around and see. There are lots of online dictionaries and other things that can help you, and I'll give you some more tips on that in another video. So I hope that was inspiring. I would love to hear if you've written any poems. I think I might have turned the comments off originally, but I'm going to put them back on for these sessions so that I can hear if you've got any poems that you'd like to share. So yeah, well, good luck with that, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.